love and light. This is Healthy Talk Show, recording live on Friday, January 10th, 2020. I'm Robert.
And I'm Marissa.
Show notes will be over at healthytalkshow.com/48.
On this episode of Healthy Talk Show, we have Ricky Gervais warns Hollywood sex offenders and government pays podcasters. But first...
Which movie are you guys going to go see?
Ring's do-it-yourself video security system has helped catch porch pirates and even connect clever kids with their busy parents.
How do you turn on the kid channel?
But its quick rise in popularity has exposed major cracks in its security. This time, parent company Amazon admitting Ring's own employees have abused their access. Amazon, responding to security concerns raised by U.S. senators, revealed that over the last 4 years, Ring has received 4 complaints, going on to say they promptly investigated and terminated each individual. Amazon...
Ooh, that's bad. That's
Yeah.
confirmation of the fears that you can't even trust the company internally with your data. Right there, that's proof. That's proof right there. And that's just what they're going to tell you about. They don't have to tell you everything. They're a private company. I don't know, a little bothersome.
Said the employees were authorized to view personal moments from your home cameras, but their private access exceeded what was necessary for their job. It's
Wait.
unclear whether the employee...
So they said that they can go back and examine video in what context?
They don't give it.
Yeah.
They don't give it. Just video in general. Just the video, basically
Well,
anything that lens sees. You got it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
employees accessed live or stored video. Ring saves video for up to 6 months at the request of the customer.
And here outside Ring's headquarters, the company says they're reducing the number of employees who have access to that stored video to just 3 people. They also say they're changing all of the default settings on all of their new equipment to prevent hacking.
You would hope that they would have done that in the first place,
Yeah.
changing the default settings on their equipment to prevent hacking, because they did get hacked. As we talked about in Healthy Talk Show, I don't know what episode it was, one of these episodes a few weeks ago. They got hacked, and they were hacking kids and families, and okay, it was a podcast too. Podcast hackers, they're trying to lay low now. What was that podcast called? I don't know. Nolecast,
Yeah,
I think.
no,
Nolecast or something, I think.
you know, it's kind of weird though too, because
Hmm.
they said, the only 3 employees have access to it. What about all the training that has to be done for these voice recognitions and all those videos?
And they've acknowledged that those go to employees, little voice files and stuff. So it's all, there's a lot more being shared than what they're going to lead people to believe. They're going to write the narrative however they like. And CBSN talking about privacy and personal information being stored. Judge orders Google to hand over data.
Ooh.
An Illinois judge has ordered Google to release a year's worth of personal data belonging to actor Jussie Smollett.
Uh-oh.
The request for his emails, private messages, and location data is part of a special prosecutor probe looking into the abrupt dismissal of criminal charges against the actor. Smollett was facing 16 counts of disorderly conduct for allegedly staging an attack in January of 2019 and lying to police. But those charges were dropped. Smollett has always denied any wrongdoing.
Well, hopefully it wasn't using Google location services at the time when he did any wrongdoing, because if he did, they know. They know exactly where he's at, or where he was at the time and what was going on. Probably have voice file. They probably have a lot of stuff on him. When do we stop trusting these strangers with our data?
Yeah. And what else does this open the door to? We just finished talking about how Amazon has all this video footage.
So it's just going to be a judge can order Amazon. Just, hey, give me the file for this person. Give me their dossier, please.
Basically.
There it is. Yeah.
That's it. That's our society.
It's scary. Moving on from that to sexual abuse, WTVR, CBS, at least 6 former Boy Scouts allege sexual abuse in Central Virginia.
Julie, he tells me those allegations date as far back as the 1940s, even up until last year. The victims were vulnerable boys living right here in Central Virginia.
It's really powerful. We started actually about a year ago.
Andrew Van Arsdale belongs to a team of lawyers suing the Boy Scouts of America in federal court.
It's horrifying what the true numbers probably are within the Boy Scouts of America.
The lawsuit filed on behalf of 8 John Does on Monday represents thousands of former Boy Scouts who allege they were sexually abused by their leaders.
We've got a client in all 50 states, as old as 92 and as young as 8 years old.
The abused and scouting
Oh my God, look at the map.
Yeah, the map is bad.
Everywhere.
Yeah, the pins. Oh, it's probably a lot more than that map.
Legal Coalition say dozens of men in Virginia have come forward, alleging they were sexually assaulted between the ages of 6 and 16, from the 50s to the 90s.
We have 6
50s to the 90s. That's
just
a long
stunning
period of time.
Yeah.
clients in Central Virginia around your area that suffered abuse at the hands of the Boy Scouts.
The coalition says 2 of those cases happened in Mechanicsville and at Pocahontas State Park in Chesterfield.
It got them one-on-one time with innocent young children in the woods with no supervision.
The Boy Scouts of America say in a statement they apologize to anyone who was harmed during their time in scouting. They say, "We believe victims, we support them, we pay for counseling by a provider of their choice, and we encourage them to come forward."
The Boy Scouts of America knew they had a
That sounds expensive.
Oh, yeah. Of their choice.
problem.
Van Arsdale believes more victims will come forward.
We want justice for our clients. This ruined their lives in many cases.
And lawyers urging victims out there to call this number, 1-888-99-SCOUT. We just posted that number on our website, WTBR.com. If you think you can help this law.
Yeah, there's the phone number.
Yeah.
You think you can help.
We'll see.
But I don't know what they're going to expect from the Boy Scouts. You can't eliminate this issue from that organization. It's not. Look at the Catholic Church. You can't, staying on this. This has nothing to do with the Catholic Church, but Kate, what?
Did the Boy Scouts know? Did the organization know? Because the Catholic Church knew.
Oh, yeah.
And has been covering it up.
Well, but how does it not get out unless someone's covering it up? Let's be real.
True.
Look at Harvey Weinstein. He had a lot of people covering up his tracks. That guy was sleazy and not the most careful person, but people were behind him covering up his tracks. So,
yeah.
Same thing. Stay on this track. KEZI, 9 cultural shifts drive child sex abuse survivors to speak up.
Penny Psalm says there's no stereotype for a child sexual abuser.
We were the perfect family on the outside. People didn't want to believe who he was and what he did.
She and her brother sexually and emotionally abused for over a decade.
He was a decorated ex-Marine, now Army officer, and he was doing this in our home.
Now a children's advocate, she thinks post-Me Too culture is helping kids today speak up.
It's our responsibility as adults to take ownership and to really make the way for society to change.
Experts say that there are signals you should be aware of to indicate if somebody is being sexually abused or is a sexual abuser. It's a different type of cultural change Peter Shannon, a certified clinical sex offender therapist, thinks drives child sexual abuse. He says the availability of child pornography and sexually charged pop culture can encourage some to act on impulses.
Some people who have desires for power, to get over on people who can't protect themselves, or they have desires for intimacy for which they feel inadequately skilled to address it with age-appropriate people.
Officials say it's hard to know if child sexual abuse is on the rise. Government data shows Child Protective Services handling between 800 and 1,000 cases per year in Oregon. But Shannon thinks it's possible to help people recover to prevent further pain.
A therapeutic approach that takes the total package of their character into consideration, not just sexuality.
Psalm's message: listen, learn, and help.
Very interesting.
Well, at least more people are coming forward, so that's always good.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ricky Gervais, he actually warned some celebrities who are, a lot of people accuse the celebrities of being into some creepy things sometimes. So Ricky Gervais called out the celebrities.
But tonight isn't just about the people
at the Golden Globes.
People in front of the camera. In this room are some of the most important TV and film executives in the world. People from every background, but they all have one thing in common. They're all terrified of Ronan Farrow. He's coming for you. He's coming for you. Look.
Why does he look displeased?
Yeah.
Is he coming for him?
Check out the video if you haven't seen it.
Talking of all you perverts, it was a big year. It was a big year for paedophile movies. Surviving R. Kelly, Leaving Neverland, Two Popes. Shut up. Shut up. I don't care. I don't care.
Funny. It's apparently his last time hosting, and he was just going all out. Pretty funny.
Well, I like that our previous segment mentioned how cultures where there's like hypersexuality and power. That sounds just like Hollywood.
Yeah, that's the Hollywood. That's the elite culture there. They're a bunch of creepers.
Very foreboding there.
Yeah, and he followed up with calling out the wokeness in Hollywood.
Apple roared into the TV game with a morning show, a superb drama, a superb drama about the importance of dignity and doing the right thing, made by a company that runs sweatshops in China. So, well, you say you're woke, but the companies you work for, I mean, unbelievable. Apple, Amazon, Disney. If ISIS started a streaming service, you'd call your agent. So, if you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world. Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. So, if you win, right, come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your God. And so, it's already 3 hours long.
Great.
Wow.
And Tom Hanks, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, he looked really uncomfortable there.
It doesn't look so good. I don't know. Something's going on. A lot of people think something's coming out about Tom Hanks here pretty soon. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Leaving that segment, going into technology. Fortune, CES, cannabis conundrum, makers of award-winning product can't mention its purpose. For the second year in a row, organizers of the tech trade show CES have found themselves in an awkward position after handing out a prestigious award. Keep Labs won an innovation award this year for a flagship product, a high-tech stash box that lets people discreetly store their cannabis and monitor their inventory via their smartphone. However, the CTA, the group that organizes CES, informed the company that it was banned from referencing marijuana in any of the signs or marketing material, nor could any cannabis be shown in the storage device, though weed is legal in Las Vegas.
Are you kidding me?
It's one of those regulation snafu things, and everyone freaks out about the weed. There's a picture of the device on the screen. It's very unnecessary for marijuana. You don't need this stuff for marijuana. Don't buy that shit.
It's still freaking crazy. You can't talk about weed in Vegas.
That's what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. I was always taught that.
But the previous year too, the same sort of thing happened. A sex toy won. They couldn't talk about it.
So controversial.
Yeah, they even revoked the award, and then there was a big uproar.
Wow. This year now, people are saying there's sex toys everywhere.
Oh,
people are very upset about it. Apparently,
it's Vegas, baby.
It's Vegas. What do you? Yes. What? There's porn. There's porn playing cards on the street. Come on. CNA, pig farm in China jams drone signal to combat swine fever crooks.
One of China's biggest animal feed producers admits it has unwittingly violated civil aviation rules by using a transmitter to fight crooks using drones to spread African swine fever on their pig farms.
Beijing Dabei Technology Group confirms that its pig farming unit in Heilongjiang province has been using radio transmitter to disrupt GPS signal in the area to combat drones dropping contaminated pork into the farm and spreading the virus.
They apologized for unintentionally breaking aviation rules along the way and surrendered the equipment to authorities. The virus hoax can be traced back to July. And that's when Chinese officials said criminal gangs were faking outbreaks of swine fever on farms to force farmers to sell their healthy pigs at sharply lower prices.
And China is the world's top producer and consumer of pork, and it has seen its pig herd shrink by 40% compared with a year ago. The swine flu attack has caused pork prices to shoot up, and that in turn has fueled the fastest inflation in almost 8 years.
Wow. I really want those drone defeating devices that they were using.
I was going to say,
we need to get some of those here.
Yeah, we mentioned that a couple episodes on Healthy Talk Show talking about those gangs. So those causing some major issues.
Yeah.
So I can't blame them.
they're droning in virus.
Yeah.
Oh my, that's so crazy.
Yeah, we've been reporting how this has been decimating the pork industry.
Over the past year.
Yeah.
We've been following it since I think April. Yep. WISN 12 News, Delta Airlines flight attendants suing Lands End over toxic uniforms.
Plum Delta uniforms, rolled out in May of 2018, were made by Wisconsin-based company Lands End. Lands End officials would not comment on the pending litigation, but attorneys representing the 525 Delta flight attendants in this case say the additives used on their uniforms are carcinogenic.
These are heavily treated garments, repellents, fire retardants in their case, and stain repellents. And we have learned that they contain high amounts of those heavy metals and chemicals that are alleged in our lawsuit.
Court documents say lab tests found heavy metals in the uniforms such as chromium, antimony, mercury, formaldehyde, fluorine, and bromine.
Are those bad chemicals? Those ones right there? You don't want those?
Chromium, antimony, and mercury, those are all 3 heavy metals. Those are all bad for you.
Okay.
But formaldehyde is bad. That's a preservative, not a heavy metal. Fluorine and bromine, I'm not they're not as worded.
Debatable.
As bad as heavy metals. Still not great.
But the top 3 are the bad ones.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. So, and they're in that whatever those uniforms were sprayed with. Perfect.
Yeah.
Employees, including 6 here in Wisconsin, say after wearing the uniforms, they experienced severe rashes, headaches, respiratory issues, heart problems, and more.
These are known carcinogens involved here, and the combination of which will be discussed by our experts in further detail, are quite dangerous. The ones who are really, really sick are not able even to go back to their career.
Delta officials told me that they do have other options for their employees. They also tested the uniforms and only found issues with the aprons, which they removed from the line. It is also important to note here that you cannot find these clothes at a Lands' End store. They are only issued to Delta
employees. But it's the fire retardant. It's a mixture there. It's something that they're spraying these uniforms with. It's probably more widespread. But they only found in the aprons in their own testing Delta. That's pretty funny.
Yeah. I mean, those fire retardant chemicals are everywhere.
And they smell. So they don't smell good. They don't smell like you want to rub your face in them. So you're the chemist, so I would consult.
Yeah.
If it has those 3, where is that? Where are they at?
No, the heavy metals. It doesn't even make sense why they would be there, but
are they good for fire retardant? I have no idea.
I don't think that they would be used for fire retardant. That's why it's kind of strange.
Mercury. Why would mercury be there? Mercury's not used for.
Yeah.
It's not. It's
But I don't know. Maybe who knows what they're doing to them.
Yeah.
We need more information, but
we'll find some in the lawsuit, I'm sure.
But I'm not
undiscovered.
I'm not really doubting that there's something nasty in those uniforms.
Oh yeah. In a lot of things.
Yeah.
Cool. Ready to go to France? Democracy now. French protest update.
In France, at least 500,000 people flooded the streets across the country Thursday to show their support for the unionized rail workers whose strike against French President Emmanuel Macron's attempted pension overhaul has now become the longest transportation strike in French history. This is really
that's impressive for French.
Yeah, the French are freaking determined.
Making a record on protests.
This is great. We gotta learn from them or something.
Moto.
Edouard Philippe dares to say that women are the great winners of the reform. That's not true and awful. He knows that women are the biggest losers from the reform. Why? Because he knows that they have different jobs, have to take more care of children, work part-time. So for sure they have careers with gaps, shorter careers. So if you take the whole career into account, women will be hit the hardest.
Well, that's a debate everyone wants to have about.
Yeah.
But France 24, Paris retailers badly hit by French strikes.
With few metros running across Paris, getting to shopping centers is a struggle. Price reductions have drawn some shoppers back to stores. Still, day one of these winter sales had little in common with the usual frenzy.
Looks pretty
We
dead.
get a customer every half hour, but it's better than other mornings when we've had no clients at all. It's really tough.
Sales were down 30 to 50% in Paris shops in December, a crucial period.
30 to 50% down.
Yeah,
that's the holiday shopping season.
Wow.
Woo, December. Ooh.
Winter sales are another key moment for retailers. Paris high-end department stores welcomed customers, many of them tourists, but even they believe figures will decline.
We usually make 12% of our annual turnover during winter sales. This year, with the strikes and the disrupted transportation, we may not hit that target.
2019 was already a tough year for retailers, with the Yellow Vest movement scaring clients away. According to the Small Business Federation, almost 2/3 of small store owners say they risk shutting down in coming months. To help them, the government is allowing them more time to pay their taxes and is considering tax deductions for those worst hit.
Oh, yeah, French government. Mm-hmm.
Wait, this report is kind of weird now that I think about it. Because they're talking about how the retailers are hit, but they're not talking about why the people are striking and why they probably don't have money.
They mentioned the yellow vest, which is funny. They just offhandedly the yellow vest. Yeah, the yellow vest. Yeah, it's a pretty good report. Pretty fun.
Because aren't they?
But everyone's getting hit. That's the kind of the point. The strikes are hurting everything.
But then he's gonna tax breaks to who? The rich people. What about the people that have been protesting? Like, oh, the retailers.
They're probably going to get back pay too. What are you talking about? This is France. They get everything. They get 6 months off a year. It's the best in France.
Why just print some more money out?
Hey, they're French. They could do it. It works for them. Works for them. It does. CBS this morning, California labor law meant to protect gig economy workers under fire.
I'm working a job that I love. I'm working the hours that I want.
Jack Kinney, who drives for both Uber and Lyft, feels the new law threatens his freedom and flexibility.
I'm certainly not making less than minimum wage.
Kinney drives in Los Angeles, handling rides between time spent with his 6 grandchildren and caring for his wife battling cancer. He has concerns that AB5 will force companies to give employees a set schedule.
You put a schedule on me, I'm now no longer able to optimize my work time, and I'm going to make less.
How's it going, man? Still, many in the gig economy insist they need the minimum wage, overtime, sick leave, and other benefits the new law affords them.
Everybody should be able to have benefits and be able to be part of the system.
Uber and
what system?
The money system at the top, baby.
I want to be part of that system too.
Everyone's trying to be part of that system.
Well, what system you want to be a part of? I want to be a part of it too. Sounds like a good system. I want to be part of that system.
And Postmates are suing to block the new law, saying AB5 is an irrational and unconstitutional statute designed to target and stifle workers and companies in the on-demand economy. On Tuesday, a federal judge temporarily blocked the law from impacting more than 70,000 independent truckers, many who are owner-operators.
This law is bad because we're going to be forced to be employees when we can grow as a small business.
I know a lot of people personally that do that. The small business trucking thing, it's just them.
Yeah.
Like they do partner thing, like husband-wife teams and stuff.
Yeah.
Ooh.
How does that work for labor laws if you have a partner team?
No idea.
Companies like rideshare provider Lyft have said the law will force drivers to operate differently.
It would impact the ability of drivers to work whenever and wherever they want. They would likely be required to work on scheduled shifts.
Still, some gig economy experts say the law could have a significant impact on companies, adding potentially hundreds of millions of dollars in labor costs.
This is very much a scare tactic from the platforms as a way to convince workers that they should operate against what would actually be something in their best interests. Regulation's not always the answer, but when it comes to the gig economy, some regulation is definitely the answer.
Yeah, that was a trick. That was word magic there. She's pro-regulation. You mean all regulation? Man, you're pro-regulation. See, she's trying to act like she's gun shy about the regulation, the R word, and she's, yeah, bullshit.
Yeah.
We'll see how this one plays out. There's California voters, you guys are going to have to come up and do something. Good luck.
Or this
She's going to repeal that gas tax, so good luck. I don't know what you're going to do.
I'll be lost in the courts forever, too.
Maybe it's going to cost taxpayers millions and millions and millions of dollars. We'll see nothing get done. Typical California.
Didn't anybody consult some people that work gig economy? It seems like they didn't really think about who this would impact because all the truckers are freaking out. They're leaving California. They didn't emphasize that too much in this report. They're And of course, Uber is going to sue. We all saw that.
All the companies are suing.
Yeah.
They're all suing, and then that's going to be taxed. It's going to be just more lawyers. It's just more lawyers getting their money, getting the piece of the pie, the California pie.
Can't we just stop working for these people?
They're supposed to work for us.
I know. What happened to open source Uber or something?
Yeah, why do you need that? Why do you need that company? Think about it. If it was a free service that we could just work with people, it could be peer to peer. Don't need why do you need a corporation at the top? If there's no corporation at the top, there's no employees. We're all just friends. We're all just friends on the same thing. I don't know. Because people need kings and queens. That's my hypothesis. They like to be guided. Uber. It's Uber or the other one, Lyft. It's those two only. Those are the only two options. You need to get somewhere. That's it. Democracy Now. New minimum wage study.
A new study suggests that raising the minimum wage by $1 an hour could save thousands of lives of people from dying by suicide each year. And that if the minimum wage had been at least $2 an hour higher, nearly 60,000 lives could have been saved between 1990 and 2015.
I'm not quite sure how. Yeah, we got to replay that one. Let's listen to that again.
Raising the minimum wage by $1 an hour could save thousands of lives of people from dying by suicide each year. And that if the minimum wage had been at least $2 an hour higher, nearly 60,000 lives could have been saved between 1990 and 2015. Suicide is now the second leading cause of death in the United States among children and youth ages 10 to 24, with the suicide rate among Black youth rising faster than any other racial group.
And the study, effects of increased minimum wages by unemployment rate on suicide in the USA. Not sure how they got those numbers about raising the minimum wage. $2 would save lives and prevent suicide, which is quite.
Yeah. Pause it right there.
Yeah.
So first of all, before I try to explain this thing, they have this huge setup and how they accounted for all these variables. And what they basically did is they tracked the states, or what they said they do, because there's not much evidence as in their papers, we'll see, is they compared all the states, their minimum wage compared to the federal minimum wage, and how that tracked over this period from 1990 to 2015. And then they also looked at the suicide rates for each of those states, and then try to do some analysis too, based on like high school diploma versus college degree, and then of course some racial stuff. But their kind of first table here doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
Because they have a bunch of percentiles, which if you kind of remember back to maybe when you were a child growing up and those percentile things. So 50% percentile is average. So what is this? What are we looking at? Distributions of monthly suicide counts and rates, the average? Okay. But where's the comparison? Where do I see the state by state breakdown? And
you're just looking at numbers and
so it's not really clear. So if you want to
keep going,
just keep going. Yep. But from this thing, they make all this claim that a $1 rate could have prevented this many deaths, and $2.
It's quite a silly. It's a silly relationship to make.
Yeah,
right? It's not. They got funding, they had to do research, and it's fun science, but it's not really. We can't. If this is used to push for higher minimum wages or anything, which it probably would be, that's probably this. It's not. Yeah. You can't use this to point for that. You can't say, for raising minimum wage, people are going to stop killing themselves. How about if people are killing themselves because they're not making enough money? How about we refocus what quality of life means to people? We stop focusing on pursuit of wealth and money, if that's really what's doing it to people. And how about we focus and refocus on time spent with loved ones, family, all that stuff instead? But we don't do that. Instead, it's all focused on money. But this is just BS. Come on.
And I mean, poverty and suicides can be kind of related.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. Poverty, that's true. But there are rich, depressed people too, all over the place. They're the one. Yeah, so it's.
And then how do you count for like standard of living? And there's all these other factors and all these other things too.
Money doesn't buy happiness.
Yeah,
and that's what we always learn, and that's what everyone always says. I think that it's still true. Money, you can't buy happiness with money.
Yeah, but we've also had the technologies totally changed from 1990 to 2015. We gone from, hardly anyone had a personal computer back in 1990 and now everyone has a personal computer glued to their face in the form of a cell phone.
Yeah. In their pocket.
So they make a really bold claim. They don't show a lot of data. They don't show the comparison of states. So I don't know.
Well, even the claim,
positive. So they say we estimated a 6% reduction in suicide for every $1. Like what?
Yeah.
What? How did you get that?
Yeah, that's wow. That's damn. Okay.
Anyways, good. Amy Goodman, try to read the study. She's got
don't
a team.
Slam. No. Do not slam Goodman. No. We don't do that.
I'm just saying.
Healthy Talk Show does not slam Democracy Now! We love Democracy Now! Goodman, you're good to go. A+ for you. Ay.
I'm sorry.
Don't do that. They're the best. I love their news network. It's just I know how news works. It's fine.
I just get frustrated that no one looks at a paper at all.
I'm telling you, this is probably gonna be used to push for minimum wage.
I know it is.
So we're gonna see it come out. We're gonna see it. It's gonna be funny. We'll follow it. Not that we're against higher minimum wage or anything like that. It's just not money. Money is not really gonna buy you happiness. You can give everyone $1 million a year. It's not gonna make them happy.
Yeah.
We got to refocus on what happiness means. All right, going back in time a little bit to August 27th of 2019. Well, I can't. Government's paying for our podcast, and we didn't get in on it. I'm very upset.
Shelby County commissioners plan to pay more than $9,000 a month to a podcasting.
What?
Shelby County commissioners. That's Shelby County in Virginia.
Wait, $9,000?
Yeah, $9,000. One more time.
Shelby County commissioners plan to pay more than $9,000 a month to a podcasting company to produce podcasts and market it on the internet.
Hello.
Wait, what? Podcasts aren't. We're on the internet.
Hello.
Oh my God.
$9,000 a month right here. Hello. Video too. Can you do video? I don't think so.
Cost of it is this contract is so outrageous that it just baffles me why we're doing this.
Shelby County Commission.
He's buying the noodles.
Yeah.
Cool.
Why we're doing this.
Shelby County Commissioner Mick Wright is the lone commissioner who voted against paying the Kadzukian Network almost $110,000 to produce podcasts for the commission.
$110,000 to the Kazuki Network podcast network. Who is the Kazuki?
I'm not.
This is upsetting.
You're talking about over $100,000. I mean, you could buy a small fleet of vehicles for that amount and still do a podcast.
The local.
You could fund an employee.
Yeah,
or a few of them.
You can buy a lot of nice podcast equipment.
Town, the city of Memphis has a similar contract with Kadzukian for significantly less money. The city is paying just over $21,000 a year to produce and distribute up to 4 Neighborhood Connect podcasts per month.
Why is the city paying 1/4 or less? 1/5, I guess. Why is the city paying 1/5 of what the county is paying?
I know why. Because the city's 1/5 the size of the county. Duh. Hello.
For the same product.
Right.
It's not. You're a bigger entity. You're a county now. See, I know how that works. I can justify. I can write the contract. No problem. Got you guys covered.
Said no one answered that question at Monday's commission meeting. The local I-Team found there are cheaper options in town.
You don't say. Cheaper options to produce a podcast? What?
The OAM network.
The $9,000 a month?
Work operates out of the Crosstown Concourse. Here, a podcast costs $300 for the first episode and $100 per episode.
$300 for the first episode and $100 per episode?
Wait, that was cheap.
Well, it's way cheaper. It's way cheaper than $9,000 a month.
That is also really pricey for a podcast.
That's crazy.
To produce
that. OAM's owner questions why the county is even paying for podcasts when it video streams its meetings and also broadcasts them live on the radio.
These meetings are already available online, so the market that would want to listen to it already has access to it.
The owner of Kadzukian didn't want to comment for this story, but at the commission meeting, he explained the cost this way.
Are you ready to hear his explanation of the cost of the $9,000 a month for a podcast?
We really work with businesses and we work with government entities to make sure that they have a very high-end product.
The podcast.
That's his explanation.
Wait,
apparently.
so what's what?
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
Nice.
Yes, contract was approved with 9 of the 12 commissioners voting yes. And yes, one government watchdog group in Tennessee says this is a complete waste of taxpayer money.
You don't say.
Thanks for that analysis.
I went to the Shelby County website to look for this contract because if those of you don't know, I used to do that procurement for another county, much bigger county, but they didn't have anything on their website. The Shelby County has 927,000 people. The county I used to work for is over 2 million. So I should
wait. So we're gonna make 4 times.
I'm just gonna reach out to them and offer to teach them how to produce a decent podcast because podcasting's easy. You need some Radio Shack microphones. You don't need to. You can go as fancy as you want or as not fancy. It's not, but it's not $9,000 a month to produce a podcast. That's called scamming the government. We don't do that. That's bad. I'm gonna contact them and I'll say, you give me $10,000 one time, I will show you how to produce a podcast for free. I'll take $5,000, send it to the person that showed me how to produce a podcast, keep the $5,000 for myself, value for value.
Yeah. And on that, you can also give us some value at healthytalkshow.com/support. We do this, 8 times a month? That was a lot of money, according to them.
Yeah.
But hey, we don't need that much. All we need is your love and support. healthytalkshow.com/support.
Yep. Share it with your friends. Tell your family. Tell your mom. healthytalkshow.com/support. $1 or $2 a month. That's all we really need to keep this show going. Please, this podcast runs on your donations. We record Healthy Talk Show live on Mondays and Fridays at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's 3 a.m. UTC over at healthytalkshow.com/live. Email us, ask@healthytalkshow.com, healthytalkshow.com/Discord to join the conversation there. Love and light.
Love and light.